I needed to make an enclosure for my ESP32 project, but I didn't want it to look like yet another 3D printed part. I wanted it to feel more like a cyber sci-fi keycard, and or like some of my favorite objects from childhood. Transparent PLA was easy to print with, but the finish comes out milky and it's easy to dent. PETG has a better surface quality, but it's harder to control the stringies. So I decided to design the enclosure around a single continuous path so that the print head wouldn't have to travel between features. I used Rhino and Grasshopper to model the geometry and generate the G-code. The first layer here is the line work that will show on the front of the enclosure and form the structural ribs and walls. It's important to get this layer down first, as you'll see in a second. The second layer is solid infill, but again, part of the single continuous line of the entire print. The infill was finely tuned so that it fills in all the empty space left by the first layer while staying flat for the next layer. The third layer repeats the line work from the first layer. This is essential for the clarity of these solid lines to persist all the way through to the front of the case. Next, we have another infill layer, and we'll repeat this pattern a couple more times. The alternating infill layers create a subtle grid pattern that contrasts nicely with the clear lines of the text and structure. And from here, only the line work continues on up through the rest of the print. You'll notice that the squiggly circle design in the center stops part way up. This acts as a button presser and diffuses the light from the LED. The one place I cheated is this bridge that forms the USB cutout. It leaves a tiny blob that is easy to pull off at the end. And finally, we continue the outer wall for a few layers to form the recess for the back plate. Cleanup is simple, and the dev board snaps nicely into place. I decided to use 4 screws to mount the back plate so that it can easily be expanded with additional hardware. I wanted this device to feel pocketable. It took longer than I care to admit to program it, but I'm quite happy with how it turned out.